Today I am going to be making, I think it's pronounced bolero. No, this one's called a shrug. Granted, let me know, what is the difference between a bolero and a shrug? I think I looked it up at one point and I can't remember. I feel like people make patterns and they use those terms interchangeably. Maybe a shrug's just a smaller version? No, because I've seen really small boleros. Never mind. Anyways, moving along, we are going to be making the Sporty Luna shrug. It's one of the patterns that I have been wanting to make. I tried making it before, didn't work out. I didn't have enough yarn. It was a discontinued yarn. It was a very unique kind of yarn. It went kind of thick and thin with different textures, and I really liked it, but I ordered more. I don't really know why I didn't finish it. Maybe I still didn't have enough, although I thought I did. Who knows, maybe I just didn't like the end result. I honestly don't remember. This was like 4 years ago. Anyways, I ended up turning it into a poncho for my sister, which if I find, I will show that to you. I don't know where it is right now. It's not in her closet. Hopefully it's in a basket of hers. But anywho, first things first, I have to go pick the yarn. You are to ignore the mess that is back here. Granted, it's not too terrible, but you know, it's still not that great. Yeah, I have way too much yarn. Let's see. I want to do it out of either Coboo or one of these. You know what? I think I might just use the light pink Coboo. I was going to try and make something with these two together, but honestly, I don't think I will. Anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to use this one. What color is it? Pale pink. Probably will use just the recommended hook size. So I'll use a 4mm hook with that. Let's see, where is it? Ha! First try. Okay. I don't even fully know if I'm gonna like how this looks on me, but I'm really wanting to try and experiment and make some patterns that I've been wanting to make. And if I don't like how it looks, I'll probably give it away. I might frog it to use the yarn for something else. That's more unlikely because I have way too much yarn. I need to get rid of some. Unless it's a yarn that I really, really like. In that case, I would repurpose it for something else. But yeah, I'm just gonna go find the pattern and get started on that. I'm actually going to use a 5.5mm hook because in her pattern, she's using a 2-weight and a 5mm, and I'm using a 3-weight. So yeah, I'm gonna go switch that up before getting started. This yarn barf was just sad. I just finished row 3 and she's having us do a 2 double crochet cluster stitch into the side of the previous stitch, and I'm just imagining my beginner self trying to figure this out because I remember this was a very confusing pattern even with the video. I'm just like, man, good grief, I should have just waited till I had more experience. Oh my goodness, but I know I ended up figuring it out because I at least made the full first strip and part of the second. This is the first 2 pattern repeats done. I'm just going to keep going and I'll update you when I make some more progress. And I left myself a really long tail for sewing in because I normally recommend you don't do this, but I haven't watched or read the pattern all the way through. I know you got to make it in strips and you connect the strips and then you sew it together, but I haven't seen the tutorial in forever. So I'm actually going to quickly go watch that all the way through. But all that to say, I left a long tail just in case I needed it to sew in. If not, I'll just shorten it before weaving it in. Yeah, I was just really eager to get started on this project and just get going. So I'm also loving how this color is. This is beautiful. I think what I need to do is go through my yarns and just kind of pick out the colors that I know I still love and would personally wear, and then give away or set aside into another pile for things to make for other people of colors that I don't think I'll wear. So I did the chain 18 and like the very first one, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to start connecting it up here, ignoring the fact that there's a gap. I plan on doing like a round of single crochets or something at the end to kind of like join it all together, because whenever I finish this first strip, you know, it you know, it's kind of separate. Anywho, so yeah, just did my chain 2 and I'm just going to slip stitch in there. Okay, so I have officially completed 3 columns, and this is kind of how I'll have it, and then it gets folded in half, and then the sleeves are formed by sewing up a little bit of the sides. So I'm currently having a little bit of a dilemma. This is how much yarn I have left, and I was going to make an entire 4th column, but it actually looks pretty good as is, size wise. So if I do it like this, anyway, so this is what it looks like with the 3 rows. So I think what I'm gonna do, because I do want it to like sew up a little bit more than just like one little loop, and my plan was to kind of join as I go. So instead of just joining on one side, I plan on joining on both sides to kind of make the sleeve. So I think I'm going to do at least one more of those pattern repeats. It's kind of like about a square shape. Anyway, so one more of those on either side. I was thinking maybe doing 2 as well, because you know, the neck area takes up 2 and I have 6 total. So I might do 1 of those squares to attach to the bottom, and then have just 2 more down. You know, we're just gonna see what it looks like. I'm gonna do 1 and then just kind of see how I feel about that, because I want to have enough yarn to do, you know, some single crochets around to just kind of finish it off. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. But this is going by really, really fast. I will say the only problem with this pattern is she really doesn't give you much instruction. So she shows you how to do the repeat. She shows you how to do like the first repeat join, but she doesn't have any more instructions after that on the video one. At least that I could find. There was like a part 1, part 2, and that's what I watched. And her written one doesn't really have instructions for how to assemble it. So I'm just kind of winging it and trying to figure this out. So I do really love this color though. And probably see you tomorrow, maybe later this evening. It's, I don't know, it's between 7 and 8 right now. I don't know what time it is. Oh wait, yes I do. You probably can't see that, but it's 7:54 right now, so I'm going to do that. So instead of chaining 1 and cutting my yarn, I just decided to make a chain and continue. I connected it. I did a chain of 15, and then I connected here, chain 2, and then worked double crochets all the way down. It does already have like, you know, a wee bit more of a connection at that point. Granted, whenever these 2 ends are sewed together, that should look the exact same. I'm beginning to wonder if I could have done this in like continuous back and forth, but you know, I guess I won't know for this project. And then I'm going back and forth and connecting each time to each side to make the sleeve, and I've just kind of begun my pattern repeat. So I'll just kind of update you as I go along. Maybe I'll update you once I kind of finished both sides. So yeah, I'll update you at some point. As you can kind of see from my expression, this I did not think looked very good. I was just kind of comparing both sides, the one with the 1 extra square and then the one without, and I definitely preferred the one without. The other one just added too much bulk to it, and I really didn't like that. Here I am just trying to frog this with one hand because I'm holding the camera with the other, and I was struggling a little bit right here too. This is where I was just joining both of the sides together, and then I was putting single crochets all the way around the whole rectangle. I didn't have much footage on this because, well, it's pretty repetitive. I was just trying to space it out as best as I could to make sense and make sure I wasn't like adding stitches or anything. This is my first try on to see if it fits the way that I think it does. And I am just so impressed with the fact that I was able to do this. This is still all in the same day. And I'm just feeling very proud of myself at this moment for, you know, using up yarn, getting a project almost done at this point. So I am for sure going to go around and make at least a couple more rows around the main body of the shrug. And then if I have enough yarn left, I'll also go around the sleeves. But honestly, I don't mind if I just sew them up together because they do end on double crochet. So I think that looks pretty fine for the most part. I did order some yarn and it came in yesterday, but I wanted to film it and it was a bit too dark at that time. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it now. And I know I don't need more yarn, but I wanted to buy some more yarn. So I did. Yeah, and I'm gonna go on a bit of a break. I'm gonna use up more than I'm buying. So here's the bag. And this is all from Hobby Lobby, which is, you know, the yarn store I get pretty much all my yarn from almost. So, let's see. I'm just gonna sort it out real quick. So I got Soft and Sleek DK in white, and I got 4 of these. Part of it was because I just don't really have that many white yarns, and it's, well, I mean, it's an acrylic. So if I make something for this summer, it's probably going to be something I wear with AC on and not something I would wear outside, but I'm inside a lot, so, you know, it's fine. The next thing I got was Bambootiful in white, and I got 4 of these as well. And, you know, you can tell a little bit of a theme, some more white yarn. I needed it. And this one is like a cotton and rayon. Well, let's see. Viscose. Okay. So this is a 50% cotton and viscose from Bamboo blend. So this is more of a summery thing. This one might end up being like a winter sweater or something like that, but this one is definitely summer yarn. Then I got 2 Soft and Sleek DK in the color black. Yeah, it's called black. Because I don't have any black yarn, and there's like a couple projects I kind of want to make with a slightly thinner black yarn, not like number 4 weight. This one's a 3 weight, but you know, the lighter weights. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna grab it. I might not use it right away, but I know I will because there's some things I've been wanting to make. Then I got 3 Yarntopia and the color Cerulean Sea. So this is the same color I used for the ribbed tank top that I made, except this one is Yarntopia and the tank top was made with Bambootiful. So this is a weight 2 and that one was weight 3. But I love the color, so I got it in a lighter weight as well. And last but not least, I got the Artiste thread and the colors Rose Quartz and Ivory, and I got 2 of each color. I'm wanting to make a tank top pattern by Wonder Netting with this. It's like a checkered one, and so I thought these colors would look pretty good together. I do have another shade of pink which might go a little bit better with the ivory, so I might switch that out. I also have some blue and yellow of this thread that I want to make that tank top out of as well. So, you know, anywho, I finished it. I got all my ends weaved in and everything, so I'm just going to try it on real quick. And this is what it looks like on. Here's the back. I think the flower is really pretty. I do wish I had blocked it before like sewing it together and whatnot, like attaching it, just to kind of really make the flower thing pop. But let's be honest, I'm not going to go back and do that. I think it's fine as is. I finished that entire skein of Coboo, and I didn't have any leftovers, so this was great for getting at least one skein of yarn out of my stash. The only thing I don't particularly care about this is the way it's just kind of like bunching right here in the back for the sleeves, but honestly it's kind of to be expected with the way it's designed, and it's not that bad, so I still think this is really cute and I will definitely be wearing it. For the pattern itself, I was just kind of figuring out myself how to join it. It does seem like she has a paid PDF version. I don't know what's in there. I only followed the 2 tutorials she has on her YouTube channel. The one, this is part 1, part 2 she has in the others. I hadn't looked at those, and I was just showing the pattern repeat and also how to connect them. It didn't show you how to finish them, and it didn't show you how to like connect your whole panel into a shrug. But what you literally do is, like, once you're done getting like the width and length that you want, you just fold it in half and just kind of seam underneath. So as you can see, it's just a rectangle. Now I did add some edging kind of around it to just like bring in a little bit more, I'm not sure what the term is. I don't know, maybe coverage, but it's not really the word I'm looking for. Just like put some more fabric over here to make it feel like it's actually going to stay on me and it's not just going to slip off. I like to think of the term shrug as in like you could shrug it on and shrug it off, and honestly it kind of felt like it would just fall off until I added these rows around. I did just do kind of double crochets whenever it reached the neckline area. So I just picked which part of like this that I wanted to be up around my neck, and I just did double crochets for the first 1.5 flower repeats. I'm just going to call them squares, okay? I'm just going to call them squares because that's kind of what that's pretty much what they are. So for the first square, for the first 1.5 squares, I just did double crochets. Then I kind of switched to half doubles till the end of the second square. And then for the middle squares, I just kind of did single crochets, switched to half double for half a square, and then double crocheted all the way around. And I did 3 rounds of that total. And let's be honest, I was just kind of winging it. So I was like, I did put some decreases and like the under the armpit area right here whenever I was making those rounds, just to kind of help it cinch in just a little bit and not be like puffy. Granted, it was like 1 decrease each time. I think the first time for the, let's see, for the part where I joined the yarn, the first time I went around, I didn't do a decrease, but the second armpit area, I did do a decrease each time, so that had 3, and the one where I touched my yarn just got 2. So where did it? Hold on. No, I got 3. Scratch that, reverse it. So where I joined my yarn, I did do 3 decreases, 1 each round. Whenever I reached that area, the end of it, the first 2 stitches I decreased. And then whenever I was going in the round, it was the last 2 stitches. And then the other under armhole area, I didn't do any decreases the first time, and then the second and third time I decreased. So yeah, if you were wanting a little bit more detailed of what I did, I will say this yarn was a bit annoying. There were 3 points where a few of the strands, it was like they were frayed and they were falling apart. And so you kind of get like this. Hold on, you can't see that very well. This. So I'm just gonna pull this one back to the other side. Overall, it's not too noticeable, but that was a little bit annoying when working with it. And then there were 2 factory knots. I was like, come on, and 1 skein. Overall, I really enjoy this project. I did go over, put single crochets all around the armhole area. Oh, this is curling up. Hold on. It does that sometimes, but it's doing better about staying down, so it's nice. So definitely if you want to make this pattern, I would say it's more for like an advanced beginner, just because of not as many clear instructions once you get past that certain point. And you just kind of, I mean, you could definitely wing it like I did. Just kind of figure out, just put stuff where you think it goes. I don't know how to say this. My words. How long? I've been filming for 7 minutes. It's also really hot right now. I'm sweating. It's just kind of says it's hot. It's not actually too hot. I'm just being sensitive. Okay, so editing me here with the Shrug, I was actually following a pattern, the video tutorial for the original one that I had tried following years ago. She has an updated tutorial that I saw. I didn't realize it was an updated one just because I was specifically looking for the thumbnail with the same picture that I remembered. But I went back, I watched that tutorial, and she goes in a bit more depth. I also found that I was making one mistake when doing the two decreases together. I was putting my hook in the wrong area. So maybe that would have helped my flower pattern to look a little bit better. I don't know if it would have made too much of a difference, but I just want you to know that I will be linking down the updated tutorial, because she goes through beginning to the end process and how she secures her sleeves. Now, she doesn't actually sew them together or like crochet them together to connect them. She uses a string, well, like a chain to kind of secure them so she can adjust. I personally added, like, I fully connected mine, and then of course, as you saw, I did the, what would it be called? The border kind of thing to go around it. So she doesn't do that, but the update tutorial is really good, so definitely recommend you follow that one and not the one that I was following to begin with. So anyways, just wanted to say that, and back to the video. For the Shrug, I didn't follow her gauge. She did have on her website, she did have like gauge listed. I just decided to, just kind of see about how big. So for me, since I knew what kind of the general design she was going for, like just kind of making a rectangle, folding in half to make the sleeves, I already knew what I would need to look for whenever making it my size. So just kind of like however many pattern repeats creates how wide it is. So how long did I want my sleeves? And as you can tell, I did want short sleeves. Also, I was worried about running out of yarn, so I was like, definitely short sleeves. And then I just kept making the strips until it came around and I could kind of attach it. And that was 3 for like attaching on the very end, and you saw that. And then I was going to add at least one more square to like attach more of the back, but that just made it too big around my arm. So I was like, you know what, we're not going to do that. And I don't think that's in the general pattern for Shrug. So anyways, so you don't actually need a gauge to make this pattern. You just need to kind of measure against your own body and just kind of figure out how wide you want it and then how long you want it. And just know you can always add a border around like I did to add some extra length and also some extra width over here so it doesn't feel like it's just gonna fall right off. This kind of makes me want to make another one since I already figured out what to do. But there's also other patterns that I'm wanting to make, so I might just move on and make those. I really love the color I chose for this. This is one of my favorite shades of pink. I really love pale pink, at least for like spring and summer. And then of course in winter, I prefer like deeper, warmer colors versus in summer, I prefer more pastels and everything. Granted, some yarns I will get in dark colors and make it for spring and summer. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.